It is in our creativity that we reveal the ghosts of our nature. We balance the darkness of our souls with the lightness of our minds, and bear them for all the world to see, and wield them in the pursuit of truth. We are the poets. It is in our rhythm that we discover the ghosts of our nature. We tamper the rules of our own making with the music in our hearts and play them for all the world to see, and sculpt them in the image of our sound. We are the musicians. It is in our impact that we expose the ghosts of our nature. We determine the direction of our right with the lore in our history and recite them for all the world to see, and archive them to create our history. We are the children of the spoken word. It is in our judgment that learn the ghosts of our nature. We follow the voice of our mind's eye with the pursuit of our aberration, and destroy them for all the world to see, and command them to finish our story. We are the thinker's muse. This is Arcanum and Lore, Episode 8, Ghosts of Our Nature. A selection from The Rubaiyat by Omar Khayyam. The worldly hope men set their hearts upon turns ashes, or it prospers and anon, like snow upon the desert's dusty face, lighting a little hour or two, is gone. Waves Against Stone by Tom Woodruff. Whenever needing refuel, pilgrim in the literal edge. To sit by wild, slick Galveston, certainly not polluted Houston, perhaps Jacob's Well, or a thin waterfall, maybe Barton Springs, fresh water dreaming. More to reconnect with the pulse of life outside consciousness. For outside self assists internal journeys, to know each wave advances then retreats, and even when moon-drawn and controlled, this will always be, is as reassuring as sunrise mornings and sunsets. Stars and one moon sun, repetition. There are ends and ghosts, we know some. They live in us, thin as soup memories. They only last as long as we last, so we last only as long as you remember this. You remember this? Start at the first line, first moment in time, then forget. A selection from The Rubaiyat by Omar Khayyam. Alike for those who for today prepare, and those that after some tomorrow stare, a muezzin from the Tower of Darkness cries, "Fools, your reward is neither here nor there." Yellow Dust on the Wall. Tell me of your constant elliptic glow, that strange shadow that follows your eyes like spying on your own soul. Through race paper filters, a radio of dotted transmissions scattered in perfect order about the page. Can you see yourself, bleeding the good from pillowy veins, accepting the rapist for tea, the priest for sin, and the teacher for the absolution of thought? Tell me of your constant elliptic glow, the abundant drip of experience, traveling through sewers, searching the ends of the earth for morality, the bridge between living and living. Across a great deluge of unnecessary cerebral cells, can you see yourself, copied over and over again, a haze-like impression of yellow dust, electrically charged against the wall, proof your soul is spying on you? A selection from The Rubaiyat by Omar Khayyam. Up from the earth's center through the seventh gate I rose, and on the throne of Saturn sate, and many a knot unraveled by the road, but not the master knot of human fate. Quarantine by William David. Your poor eye, it must do so much, work capturing frames of day, of night, Murders between shadows, between city, roads, eyes that record the stash houses. The victims, the drug pushers, their bodies leave their mark outside the park kids. Rumble and climb among dulcimer beds, but early you need be patrolling again. Brute stars glare and the hot sun blinds. Any hope you carry look again and even, until the sun breaks and you will rise to something dear and great in the distance. Remember Landau's soft targets? Yes, I know. You have, and all you love. A selection from the Rubaiyat by Omar Khayyam. With them the seed of wisdom did I sow, and with mine own hand wrought to make it grow. And this was all the harvest that I reaped. I came like water, and like wind I go. In Ancient Olympia by Spartacus Anagnosterus. My words were not of Alexandria. My words used to be beautiful flowers and trees, watching the Olympic Games in ancient Olympia. The earth was poetry, and the rivers its followers. I used to water my verses with a long hose until I could see my angry dreams growing up. I used to swim facing the drops of the rain with closed eyes. Now that I open them, the waves of the sea create wavy sculptures made of ashes, and the rivers preserve their water while greeting the sea engulfed in smoke. An abandoned ghost chases doves near the sea while trying to escape from a fire that chases it. And the earth orbits a smoked, streaky sun in the sky. Now I am both the fire and the firefighter. I hide my temporary future deep in my heart, and I give it as a gift to the teenagers to plant it in a necropolis of trees. A selection from the Rubaiyat by Omar Khayyam. Ah, my beloved, fill the cup that clears today of past regrets and future fears. Tomorrow, why tomorrow I may be myself with yesterday's 7,000 years. Do Not Write This Down by Tom Woodruff. Try to remember remembering. Before Rosetta Stones, libraries of Alexandria, before runes, tarot, divination sticks, before you forgot your antecedents. Yes, this began before writing, before the need to replicate. We had memory, and it was not a stick. Were elemental, zen. Would sit round fires in a cave and share hunting patterns, where the food sources hid and praise our ancestors. If we scrawled at all, it was yantras in sand, initiation marks in skin or on walls of cave, daub depictions of battles. This is how I began poetry, by improvising, to improvising musicians. I can remember everything. It is clear as your eyes reading this. It is only because you do not remember I have to write this. A selection from the Rubaiyat by Omar Khayyam. And has not such a story from of old down man's successive generations rolled, of such a clod of saturated earth cast by the Maker into human mold? The state of being young. Gods live at the center of suns, heavenly bodies so precise. Gods live at the center of suns, heavenly bodies so precise. Consuming faith in celestial days, the constant state of being young. Belief in impossible conclusions, fire the engine of creation one. Streaming truth in nectarous rain, an answer in photographic trees. Expose the liquid amber within, stain the pages with butterfly leaves. Gods live at the center of suns, heavenly bodies so precise. The earthen result of carbon life, worth the world at any price. A selection from the Rubaiyat by Omar Khayyam. A book of verses underneath the bough, a jug of wine, a loaf of bread, and thou beside me singing in the wilderness, O wilderness, were paradise enow. Keep Finding Pennies in the Decimal Currency by Tom Woodruff. Pounds among the euros, habits among initiatives. Still buy, purchase, consume newspapers, magazines in an online world. Tithe my time for online fun. Walk and cycle rather than gym. Enjoy living conversation. Emperors spouting talk back hates. How they wish for their angry pasts to resurrect. For me, Woodstock, for them, Waterloo. They fulminate conspiracy theories. I theorize affirmative actions. But even Zen throw back to kinder, gentler days, with no COVID, fewer homeless. Of course, they had smallpox, polio. But they also had vaccines, irrational responses, demand attention. So we sing Carole King, You Can't Talk to a Man with a Shotgun in His Hand, and reject militarism, fascism, Nazisms, all the isms that engendered 2 world wars, and all the current invasions, threads of our pasts, like blood on the flowers, rats in the attic, snakes in our gardens. They claim our calendar, September 11th, January 6th. We want our lives back, open, living, free. The price of liberty is... I'm much too young to trust in fate, much too old to do what I'm told, much too sad to remember all the friends I've had, much too proud to live in shroud, much too alive to ignore the jive, much too full of dread to lose my fucking head, much too insane to steal your heart again, much too smart to win the race at the start, much too dumb to realize my brain's gone numb. It's much too late to trust in fate of the lies we procreate. Check into the hotel for a discount rate, shoot the maid 'cause she was late, make your gun the perfect mate, use your dreams as the bait, open the metal twisted gate, give in to the madness hate, and make the final date. And I'm still much too young to trust in fate. Thank you for joining us for this episode of our Kahneman Lore, Ghosts of Our Nature. This episode featured creative works by Spartacus Anagnosterus, Tom Woodruff, William David, Jeff Pettigrew, and Omar Khayyam. Until next time, thank you very much.